Okay, good day everybody. I just want to do some um, how you can trade liquidity. And I want you to understand that liquidity is when price move to clear previous high and previous low. That is just what you need to know about liquidity. And price actually moves from one liquidity to another liquidity. So now, how do you enter your trade? You enter your trade using two techniques, using order blocks, fair value gap. That's all I feel you can use in entering this market. It's very simple. I just want you to understand it. I believe you know what is order block. Like I won't be talking much about other blocks because that's not why I'm doing this video. I also on favor looker, but I'll just give an idea of what other block is. Other block is the last up candle before the down move, or the last down candle before the up move. Now this is an order block. You can see candle is going, candle went up and it came down. This is also an order block here. Candle went down and before it goes up. That's an order block. Fair value gap is the distance between three candles and distance in the weeks between three candles. Like now, this is 1, 2, 3. Now from this week to this week, this is a fair value gap. So that's all you need to know about fair value gap. So I may not go in details in this video because I still have a lot to say and I don't want to actually waste your time. Okay, now look, how do you identify your fair value gaps? Okay, I've made it very simple. Like my internet is getting slow. Uh, Waiting for it to load. All right. So, okay. Now, assuming you woke up by 5 a.m. in the morning, you can see this 5 a.m. in the morning. So now, what do? You identify your liquidity. Now you from this part you are not seeing all this part here. So what do? You identify your liquidity. I use your magnet tool to get the exact price level. This is one liquidity here. This is a buy side liquidity because price is above this place. Another liquidity is another liquidity here. This one will be a sell side because price is below this place. So this is a buy side, this is a sell side. So you try to identify all the liquidity. Now this can be a liquidity because it has been tapped into. So what we are expecting price to come here and retrace back. You can see, and that's exactly what price did here. He got here and he came back up. But it's not a very strong liquidity. Now this is another liquidity. This is another liquidity. This is sell side liquidity. Also, this is another liquidity. This is also the sell side. So what I do is I try to identify all the liquidity in the previous day. This is another liquidity. Price will always take liquidity. This is also another liquidity here. So for reference purpose, you just leave it the way it is. Okay, now you have identified all the liquidity and you have put your alarm to trigger the market when liquidity gets to this level. One thing about the forex market, liquidity must get to this to grab it and return back. So now what do you do now? You wait for price to do, then use price action to enter your market. That is where the other blocks and the fair value gaps comes in. So now you move to a lower time frame, maybe 5 minutes or 1 minute, whatever time frame you're convenient that is okay for you. You can use that. So now remember, this is where this is 5 o'clock. Price rally round. No, this is yeah, where this is no, this is where we enter the market. This is your side looking at the market. Price came. What did price do? What did price do here? You can see price broke above this liquidity. So now what do you do here? You identify the fair value gap. This is a fair value, this is a fair value gap here. You identify it. This is a fair value gap. And this is also an order block. So this is a buy side fair value gap. It's a buy side fair value gap. Is also a buy side order block. Now in this kind of case, what do you do? So assuming you take your buy limit from here, You put your stop loss underneath the other block, and you target the next high. So it is a good trade. It's not a good trade. It's not a good trade, but you can just take it. You understand? Just take it. Yes, because the win ratio is 1:7.4. Most people will not take this kind of trade. So you move to the next thing, you stay. Price is just daily at the, so this time you have to be in the market to know what's happening in the market actually. You know, price is just trying to show some craziness in the market. So now what the price do? Price came back to the next value gap, tapped it. And what will you do in this case? What will you do? When price came here, when price came here, what is the next thing you have to do? How will you enter this market? There's no space, there's no, okay, I think there's a small, now look, there's a small fair value gap here. You'll have entered from here, fair value gap, then another fair value gap here, then an order block, and another block. So what do? Let's assume you entered at this fair value gap here, below the order block. Then you take your price at the next liquidity. This is a good trade. You can see this 1:5. It's a good trade. So if you are staking $10, you're making $50. You get that what it means. Now you can see you can still break even. You can come here. You can still enter this trade. Look for possible entry. This is a fair value gap. It's a fair value gap here. Then this is another order block. This is what to make you to hold this trade if you can identify all this. It's another order block. It's another order block. Is a fair value gap. So what do? In this case, I think you can enter. If I will enter again, enter for a buy. Price will almost take you out. Then target the next liquidity zone. At the end of the day, this is 1:1.5. Then take profit. Leave there. Can't I'm doing something. Then you can see you hit 1:5 risk to reward. You know. So in this case, I'll have entered at this. I'll have entered again at this other block. I'll have entered again. Enter this fair value gap. Enter this other block. That's what I do. I share my entry, fair value gap and the other block. So I risk 1%. You know. Then so imagine I entered from this this other block here. Right over here. Let me just take this one at next key level. You can see I'm making 1:3.35. You can see. So that's how you trade the market.